Violent night, holy shite. Santa's fed up, spoiling for a fight. Light stones whining while chaos unfolds. Mercs get dropped as the night takes hold. Seasons beatings tonight. Seasons beatings tonight. Violent night, Trudy's delight. Home Alone traps set way too tight. Bubbles explode and the nails go in. Santa just nods as the screams begin. Christmas carnage done right. Christmas carnage done right. Violent night, Viking might. Harbour swinging with pure spite. Sledgehammer singing its brutal tune. Bad guys flying like kick-out goons. Yuletide vengeance in sight. Yuletide vengeance in sight. I'm so sorry.
That was fantastic. Well, I gotta ask, how many different songs were you singing?
I'm tuneless. I am tuneless. Welcome to the Hey Guys podcast. I'm Rob, that's Liam, he's Dave, and today we're diving headfirst into the most gloriously chaotic Christmas action film of the last decade, Violent Night. This is the one where Father Christmas isn't the cozy mince pie munching bloke from the cards. He's David Harbour as a battered, boozy Viking backstory Santa who's had quite enough of everyone's nonsense. 1 minute he's delivering presents, the next he's smashing mercenaries with a sledgehammer like he's trying to get to the Boxing Day sale starting early. We got a wealthy, deeply unlikely family trapped in a mansion, a gang of criminals who seem to have learned all their tactics from watching Die Hard on Fast Forward, and Santa, the actual Santa, stumbling into the middle of it and deciding, right then, let's sort this lot out. I've got to ask, is David Harbour the best Santa? I think he's
I'm
great.
not sure he's even playing Santa. He's just playing himself, isn't he?
He's playing Hopper, isn't
he? He was a drunk when he was younger, so he knows how to do that.
Yeah.
He's miserable. I guess the only thing he didn't do was just shag someone inappropriately.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
I actually think he's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
He's easily the best thing about this film. He's really who he's playing. He's playing John McClane. Like,
Yeah.
this movie loves 80s action movies. It loves all the 80s tropes and everything. And it kind of really leans into, I mean, obviously there's the Home Alone thing, which is technically the 90s, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's clearly in love with a certain era of Christmas.
And it's clearly in love with Die Hard, as you said. I mean, take the premise out of it. The Black Guard is called Al.
Oh, yeah, like
First.
structurally,
Yeah.
this is Die Hard.
And they even quote it about the security guard watching too many films. What does Hans Gruber say?
Yeah.
Some American who watches too many films. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's like an even like relationship between David Harbour's Santa and Trudy, where she's on the microphone. It's basically just Al and John McClane.
Yeah.
Where she's like talking through it. He has his rough patch. She's giving him like the inspirational speech. She's also black. I don't think that's a coincidence. To be honest.
But it's not just Die Hard, it's Die Hard 2. So it's almost like an amalgamation of both of them. So you've got the mercs that turn up halfway through.
Yeah.
And they double cross everyone. It's exactly like it. It's snowy. It feels like Die Hard.
They're wearing white as well. Yeah.
See, it's weird you say that, because when I saw that sequence, I wasn't even thinking Die Hard 2, which is correct. It is the correct answer. I immediately thought of The Day the Reindeer Died from Scrooge.
Yeah, because Lee Majors rocked up in. Yeah.
It's like a big part of the film, especially when he finally goes full psycho Santa. So, when you see the poster, you think, oh, he's going to be this like totally badass Santa. That doesn't actually happen until 70 minutes in. And it's that sequence in particular when it's in like the cabin and they all go in and he gets his axe and starts to badass. Like, I actually, as cool as that is, though, I think the reason this movie works is because he isn't that Santa immediately. Like, he's fallible, like John McClane. I don't think this movie is nearly as good if you go into it and he is an infallible, totally badass Santa who's just kicking everyone's ass.
Yeah.
The fact that he wants no fucking part of it, he's almost borderline cowardly at the start. And he's like, you think of those first, 2 or 3 fight sequences? It's almost like, I don't want to be here, but I'm kind of forced into action.
Absolutely. If his nose magic would have worked, he would have gone. He would have gone. And I read what people saying that the whole magic thing was inconsistent, but I looked at it a little bit different. I don't think it was inconsistent. It was a belief. Santa magic seems to work, or Christmas magic, whatever you call it, seems to work in belief. He couldn't get out because he stopped believing in himself. But he couldn't get out.
At that point, he had enough.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be Santa
So
anymore.
it's only when Trudy started believing in him, his Santa magic started to work. So I don't think there's inconsistencies in the actual logic of it. I just think it was good. I wanted to
It's
ask.
a bit of a stretch. All that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Before we get into a lot of it, we gotta go straight into the Home Alone sequences, right? Because I have to ask.
Which is right at the end of the film.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Classic, he goes.
Yeah.
Sure.
We've done Home Alone, and we've said before, if it wasn't a kids' film,
Mhm.
Harry and Marv would be dead.
Yeah.
And that's basically what they've done here. But the reason why I wanted to mention the Home Alone sequence is we can talk about how much she would have killed all those people. Or she did kill those people.
Yeah. Sure.
Why is there so many bowling balls in the attic?
I mind you, you'd say that in like Home Alone, although they don't have a massive house while they're doing. I guess most of the stuff actually in Home Alone probably makes sense. I was going to complain about paint cans. I was like, no, we have paint cans in the house.
Yeah. We got paint cans in the storage room. What they can get through. But why does she have, or why do they have 30 bowling balls?
Because they're rich as hell. I guess, someone gets a bit of a passion for bowling. It's not a massive stretch, is it?
So it is strange. I mean, the cool thing about it, though, is to your point, it's exactly like they don't do anything different because they talk up Home Alone numerous times in this film. It's gearing towards Trudy having a Home Alone moment. She's on the microphone. They're going to find her at some point. And they don't actually exaggerate Home Alone at all. In terms of what she does, it is no worse than anything Kevin McCallister does in Home Alone. I rewatched Home Alone over Christmas, or now, Christmas. I was like, fair play, he fucks them up. And it's even worse than number two. In one minute, he literally just throws bricks and their faces off the top of a building. He's going to kill them.
He drops them through holes in the floor.
Yeah. So the stuff she does, you can make an argument that the stuff Trudy does is actually more chill than what Kevin McCallister does. The difference in this film, they just show you what would actually happen to a human face. If, like, can you imagine if they literally transported Home Alone into this film? So it's all the same stuff, only when an iron gets dropped on Marv's face, it caves his face in. That's the major difference.
And how superhuman is Trudy? Because not even about picking up the bowling balls or anything, but the way she flings a dumbbell.
Yeah, she's pretty chill about it.
Yeah, with what is basically like an arm stretching device, isn't it? When you've done your shoulder in, that's not flicking a dumbbell.
No.
It's cool, that whole concept. I think they probably could have. I would have liked it if she had set up like more of the house, rather than it just be like a bit in the attic, because I thought that kind of limited it. It was still, don't get me wrong, it's a fun sequence. It's supposed to be a nod to the movies. I think they could have, and I'm only saying that because that sequence is so successful.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Do you know when we mentioned Jack Frost? When we watched Jack Frost, we mentioned about
just to be clear, 1997 Jack Frost, not the
the serial killer Jack Frost, not Michael,
not
Keaton.
the harmonica playing motherfucker. Yeah.
We talked about the sheriff's son being a psycho because he put antifreeze in his dad's oats.
Yeah, and if you're like, what the hell's going on here? You should watch that film, by the way.
I argue that Trudy might be in the same realm of psycho. Like,
she was enjoying it, wasn't she? A lot.
She was enjoying it a lot. But the nail pad that she put on the floor, he spent the time to not just put nails on there, but like razor blades. She picked like razor blades, stood up. And speaking of nails, sorry, I've just gone on a tangent. I don't think I would spend that long looking at a nail.
Oh, this was
that was the big issue with that sequence.
Yeah,
is he's like looking at the nail, just it's kind of like the equivalent of like Wile E. Coyote like looking down the barrel of a gun. For, like dude, you're gonna get shot in the face. It's a bit of a stretch, but by then you kind of into the whole Home Alone thing. You kind of almost accept it in this film as like an homage within a movie which is already homaging something else. So it's just like, yes, this section is inherently quite dumb, but I think one of the reasons the movie works so well is that I think it gets the tone right.
Yeah. And
the fact that at the end, for instance, like, when you look at the poster, for instance, you might think that this is like a Christmas horror film. You see him on the front, he's got like the sharpened candy cane and all that shit. And how many horror films are there starring Santa? This is not a horror film. This is an action movie with Christmas magic. And the fact that, like, you think of like the end of the film, is really well choreographed stuff. And all the action is pretty, I know what they're doing is outrageous, but it's within the realms of reality. You think about like when John Leguizamo like stabs him in the hand and he drags his hand down. That's pretty badass. That leads directly to him using his magic nose techniques and exploding John Leguizamo out of the top of the chimney.
Yeah, that was great.
And it's ridiculous, but you're like, it works within the confines of the film. And you just like, when he has his like, emotional speech with Trudy and it's all about the spirit of Christmas, that shouldn't work, but it just kind of does in this film.
You say about Trudy being a bit of a psychopath in the making. At no point does she have any reaction to the massive amount of dead people lying on the floor. No. When she jumps off the snowmobile and runs over to Santa, she's almost like skipping her way across. there's dead people all over the place. I mean, there's, like you said, there's bits of Leguizamo all over the place.
Yeah.
She doesn't care. She's happy as Larry until she sees Santa.
I think that's explained by her family, though. Like, she's from a family of psychos. That's the whole point. Like, Beverly D'Angelo, she's obviously the family patriarch. Like, the whole
Matriarch.
Matriarch. They're all like psychos, aren't they?
Yeah.
So she's just another psycho who's grew up in a world where she's at least partially accustomed to violence. I'm not sure about her dad, though. Before, I just knew him as
a wet blanket.
Well, that was the thing. I always just knew him as the guy from The Boys before. And that was fine because
Was he the invisible guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But now I know him as the handsome. Well, I see that he's weird because he's in Rivals. I'm not sure if you ever watched that. I think it's like a really big TV show. I think it was earlier this year. And basically, he plays this kind of wealthy Lothario. He's very British, as he is in real life.
Oh my God, that's him.
Yeah, there you go. It's fixed out. And he's one of these guys because he's got like such strong but strange.
So you like Bulldog?
Yeah. It's like when he's playing up to the part and he's like being a Lothario and he's taking his top off and he's fucking shredding stuff. He like suddenly he looks like an 8 or a 9, but because he has weird features in this, when he kind of puts on this odd American accent, which I don't think he can pull off, and he's acting quite weedy, that 8 or a 9 dude suddenly looks like a 4 or a 5. It's quite a bizarre transformation. I think it's just because he has such unique, distinct features. But it was almost a kind of cognitive dissonance because when I think of him now, I just think of him as it is fantastical, isn't it? As the Lothario from Rivals kind of thing. And in this, I don't know.
You wouldn't capture it, would you?
I mean,
no, not at all.
they're all like the whole family is snibbling, isn't it? Like,
Oh, they're dicks, but I mean, I don't like his performance in this.
Well, no, I
That's
get
my
that.
issue with
I
it.
had to laugh out loud when they were talking about it. We were all lucky enough to have a girl. You named yours Gertrude after you. Well, you named yours Gertrude.
That's stuff.
Yeah, you say about the family and they're all a bit messed up. I did like the fact that his mum was actually proud of him that he fucked her over and took the money.
I did it to my.
That is such a cool thing to, it shows what they've all had to live up to.
I did it to my dad because he told me a woman can't run the company.
Yeah.
So, and I would expect you to do it to me.
Well, there's something to that. Just before we go back to the start of the film, as we tend to do, we'll start in the middle, go to the end, we'll go back to the start, etc., etc. We briefly touched upon like 80s tropes. I love the fact that they had like the classic 80s injury scene. Like if you go back and watch any army film, any Sly film, they always get injured in the same place. It's just above the hip on the left or right hand side, away from the internal organs. So it hurts and it looks cool, but they can still go and fight.
But on David Harbour, it's the love handle.
Yeah.
He has got a gut in this film.
Yeah.
He's also got a 6-pack somewhere. Yeah. He's got a 6-pack gut. I've never seen this.
That's called bronzer.
Whatever he's doing, he's somehow both fat and yoked. But I think he's got the perfect build for him.
He's a big guy, isn't he?
He's a big guy. Yeah. He's carrying the timber you need for Santa. But once he gets the axe and stuff, you're like, I wouldn't want to get in his way.
Well, he's obviously like he's the Hopper from Stranger Things. We know he's lost the weight for season 5. And he's lost the weight. So when it comes to the sequel, I know we'll mention this in the future, but I want to see, like, I wonder, will they try and pad him up again, or will he be yoked Santa?
I don't think it's going to take much for him to get back.
Do you know, and it's funny, do you know you've mentioned, sorry, Liam, do you know you've mentioned Die Hard 2 as well, was in the airport? From what I read, then I mentioned this to Liam last week, apparently Violent Night 2 is in a mall.
Okay.
So it's like they had to go bigger, but they can't go airport, so they got to go mall.
Whole blast.
Yeah, that's a natural, and you can actually have it make sense. Like in this film, one of the reasons again it works is because he's not like a complete bum Santa. He's not like a loser. He's disillusioned. Like he's lost interest and faith in humanity, in kids, and the concept of Christmas. So it's the idea that he's let himself go. But in the second film, he's got his Christmas spirit back, and he's back in the gym, and he gets fucking yoked. I'm like,
I mean, he'd have to if his missus is Kristen Bell.
Yeah, if his wife is Kristen Bell. Mind you saying that, if you're
Kristen
Santa,
Bell's Mrs. Veronica Mars, she's Mrs. Close.
In the new one.
Oh, I thought you were trying to say that was David Harbour's missus.
No, David Harbour doesn't have a missus.
No.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the fact that you have that moment where he gets injured, but he's like, and again, speaking to like getting the tone right, he's wrapping himself up with Christmas paper and stuff like that. I like all that stuff. But you think like John Leguizamo has his like Phoebe Cates Christmas speech? I don't know.
It's Phoebe Cates Christmas speech. Well, thank you for bringing up John Leguizamo because I had to ask. He's not he shouldn't be the foil to Santa, should he? Like it's like apples and oranges.
I was going to ask, do you actually like him in this movie?
I love John Leguizamo.
I love him as well.
I don't think he was good in this film.
Right character for that, isn't it?
Like I always like this film. Whenever David Harbour is on screen, I genuinely love it. I mentioned the fact they get the tone absolutely right. I think his performance is bang on. I love the choreography of the fight sequences. I think they get the level of violence bang on. Again, I think the introduction of Christmas spirit and that little bit of magic, they don't overdo it. I think it all balances well. I think as soon as he's off screen, and with John Leguizamo and Beverly D'Angelo, who in and of themselves are good fun, I don't think tonally that whole section works. It's not like a horror show or anything. It's just not nearly as good as when David Harbour.
I think D'Angelo is probably the only one of the family that I liked.
Yeah,
she's a hard-nosed bitch.
She had to be, and she played that really well because the rest of them were all just
the family
sniveling.
That's what they are.
Yeah,
they play up to it, but they're just not very good actors.
You mentioned all the best lines. I wrote down here, like, ram it up your fucking box, or don't shit in my mouth and tell me it's Christmas.
Yeah.
Those are great lines, but coming out of Beverly D'Angelo's mouth, it's just...
When she said as well, when they said, "Oh, I go with Trudy now," so now she's a hooker. Oh, she doesn't know what I mean. Do you know you mentioned as well, Leguizamo not being the best bad guy? I kind of argue that a lot, like most of them, weren't very good bad guys. Like I like Brendan Fletcher, who played Krampus.
Yeah.
But he's awful in this film. He is terrible.
He's not great.
He's trying to put. I think he's trying to do the Carl psycho henchman moment, and it just doesn't work for him.
Is he the guy who's like dressed as an elf?
He's the one that gets fucked up.
I think that Krampus, aka Bjorn from ABBA, dressed as an elf. You look at him.
Yeah. So I was wondering if it was like a direct note again, because you know who he reminded me of? He reminded me of Bob from 1989's Batman.
That's Bob, yeah.
My number one.
Yeah.
God, he didn't see much. He has the same bullshit haircuts kind of thing. He looked a little bit like him. That might indeed be coincidental, though. But, like, John Leguizamo, like, when he just went out, I was watching this with my wife. She'd never seen it before. And when he goes out to, his name is Al, isn't it? The guy, the security.
Yeah, Al, the security.
Just get it straight. They've got this massive house. They're worth millions. They're clearly a crime syndicate. They've got this one dude, Al, at the front, who's like the nicest guy in the world. He's the fucking security. Sure, whatever.
But he's just the gatekeeper, mind. Yeah. Because their security is shit anyway.
Yeah, it's like one dude. But when he just goes out and shoots him in the head, like straight away, I was like, he just killed him. I was like, yes, there is a bit of violence in this film.
Do you want
it's still in the title. You should have seen that coming. Like the other fights, as violent as they are, there's like Christmas lights involved, and it's even though it's like kind of John Wick level of violence. There's a certain kind of Hollywood whatever about it, and there's a bit of fun. Whereas when John Leguizamo just goes over and just caps him in the head, no fuss, no fuss, you're just like, well, that feels like it's from Die Hard rather than...
That was one of my biggest bugbears of this entire film, was the music never seemed to fit what was going on screen.
The first,
it was also jovial in the background, and then people are having their like faces ripped off or their heads chopped off as in ice skates. At times they got really graphically violent. But it was all ding 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 in the background. Is that?
My only time was
the pacing. The film was okay. It just, I don't know. It all felt a bit confused. Like it didn't know what it was trying to do. Was it trying to be funny? Or was it trying to be?
I think it's just be jovial. Just be like it's trying to be a Christmas film. So you got Christmas music. You got all this, but
there's a time and a place for it.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily think during these incredibly graphic, violent scenes you need something jovial in the background.
Do you know, I think you need it to keep it fun, to keep it light. But my issue, I do have an issue with music, funnily enough, but it's not with that. It's when you have it's building up. I mentioned at the top of the podcast. It's all building up to when he suddenly becomes, the Santa evolved and he gets his axe and stuff.
Yeah,
and you have this cool moment when, all the strike team come in and he smokes them all, he just kills them all, and he's a complete badass. And you're like, this is the key moment of the film. And they played Bryan Adams. Why didn't you have an awesome song? And the annoying thing is, at the end of the film, in the closing credits, they play Slade. Slade for that sequence.
Funny enough, it was going to be Slade. But they decided to keep it for the end.
And not use it then.
No
use it. Although saying that, for all my complaints, again, my wife watching, she was just like, I thought that song was awesome. I was just like, I don't have any issue with the song. I just don't think it was kick-ass enough when Santa suddenly goes badass. Play playing Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
I was all in on that.
What did we think of Cam Geegan death as Morgan Steele?
That was a lot of words, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is he the younger brother?
No, the action.
I mean, he's supposed to be. What's his name?
I was about to say, do you know who he's based on?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I know.
Can I help you?
Yes.
He's Marky Mark.
Mark
Mark
Wahlberg.
Wahlberg.
It's the comment, isn't it, about 9/11?
I can say the plane. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
terrorist now. Yes.
He actually said that.
Yeah, if you're not aware, that is something Mark Wahlberg actually said.
And then he apologized for it in 2012.
You know, it's like the ultimate douchey dude thing to say. It's like, dude, if I was on the plane 9/11, I would have taken out all those fucking, all those terrorists and stuff. And he's just like, oh, that's an exaggeration of what he says. Like, no.
I also imagine Mark Wahlberg constantly has a film idea that he's taking around with him. That if someone's got some money, he's like, do you want to make this film?
And also, I kind of reckon he's just stood in his room just doing shadow boxing moves. He's only can just punch out or throw a kick out.
The coolest thing he did, though, without question, was when he decides to make a movie and jumps off the sofa.
Yeah, bro. That's not a silly moment, but when he jumped up, he just yelled parkour. I loved it as well when you just said about the handsome man who's not so handsome in this film. Jason. So when Jason and Linda are talking, so catch me up, I've missed it. And he goes, "Oh, Bertrude's on his first sexual assault, but it's okay because we bought the school."
Yeah.
So and he's just there, and he's going, "Your boy Bert Lightstone," and he's
It's weird. Well, that was like one of the weirdest things in the film. It's super low key. I could put this under Rob's takes if nothing else, but when they rock up at the house, there's a huge house they go through. They're clearly very wealthy as well. They roll up in a Volvo.
Yeah.
Like, it's a perfectly nice car. Like, if you're that rich, are you gonna fucking
but I don't think Linda is, because she drove. Linda's kind of like, I don't need your family's money. That's the whole reason they've split up. Is I don't need your family's money. So that's why they're rocking up in a Volvo.
I could get into a conversation, and this could be another Rob take about try and explain, because again, one of my issues with this film is I don't really know like John Leguizamo's grand plan is. I don't know, like, his speech doesn't really justify his hatred for Christmas. It's kind of like, you think about like Phoebe Cates, because that's what they're going for, yeah? When Phoebe Cates tells her story, and it's like, oh, my dad was like climbing down the chimney to give us Christmas gifts, breaks his fucking neck dressed as Santa. Nobody finds him for days until they realize the smell. They have to get, the police around, the fire engine to dig up the chimney, and they find him. He's been in there for days. He's buzzing. He's still dressed as Santa. His neck's broken. I'm like, I would never want to see Christmas again. He's like, oh, I accidentally pushed my friend down the stairs, so now I hate Christmas.
Yeah, dad lost his job.
I'm like, fucking tone it down.
My dad lost his job. I scared the guy who fell down the stairs. I scared him because I broke into his house.
Yeah,
it's not really, It's
not like he just doesn't, like, I'm like, you could have really gone for it there. It's this kind of film with its own. And you think the benchmark is Phoebe Cates, and that's what they're going for. And the story is already ludicrous. You've at least got to match her. If nothing else, you should be trying to go above it. And you could, because I'm going to go, oh, it's a Phoebe Cates thing from Gremlins. You can go as mad as you fucking want. Yeah. And instead, he's like 7, 8 rungs below that. So it just doesn't work. And by the end, I'm just like, why are you so upset with Christmas? And then I have to deal with Blake Haskell's, whose character's name I forget again. Jason, thank you. His whole plan with the money, I just don't know how that works at all. I don't know how his plan worked, how he got the money outside.
Yeah, 300 million in duffel bags he managed to do on his own and then hide in the manger.
Without anyone noticing it, with high security going on, I'm just like, all right, we're just going to let this fucking slide.
So when did he do that?
Exactly.
And was that already done?
I'm assuming the day before, because he was meant to take. They made a big deal of Trudy not taking him to the. Him not taking Trudy to the mall to see Santa.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then he said, "I was on a special project." So I'm assuming
he was robbing his mum.
Yeah, he was robbing his mum.
This is really wrong, because I always know when I kind of kick off about these things, there's someone who's actually watched the movie and properly paid his attention. Look, you fucking idiot! It's like, it's all back in the film,
Do you know what this film did? I love Tommy Vergola as a director. He gave us Dead Snow.
Yeah. You also gave us Sperm again.
Because I am just about to go into that.
I spent the last 10 minutes looking at this on your screen thinking, what the fuck is going on?
So he did co-direct Spermageddon, and I'm going to read the first paragraph of the plot to you for Spermageddon.
Right, of course.
Okay? So Jens is a 16-year-old boy who goes on a camping trip with his friends to a cabin. One of the girls is Lisa. Yen?
Oh, yeah. No, okay. Sorry, he's accustomed to me, like, every time he says something, I'm like, oh, he goes with his pronunciation.
I thought this was like a Gen Z slur.
No. So Yen's crush from the previous summer, who moved after her father got a job in Oslo. During a game of Truth or Dare, Jens is dared to kiss Lisa, and afterwards the two have sex for the first time. Inside Yen's testicles lives a society of sperm cells. A young sperm cell named Simon is ostracized due to not having any interest in taking part in the race to the egg. His only friend, Camilla, however, tries to get him to take an interest. Meanwhile, Gizmo, an entrepreneur sperm cell, creates an armored suit called the Ejaculator 9000, which allows him to fight through anything that will prevent him from getting to the egg, including killing the other sperm, which he demonstrates by brutally killing a worker.
Wait, so is this basically like Osmosis Jones but with dick?
This is Osmosis Jones, but basically with dick. I read this whole, like, the plot is absolutely... I don't know if I want to watch this film. I kind of... Basically... This sperm, who's going to be the hero, decides after the first ejaculation that after the first ejaculation he wants to go.
Okay.
But Jens accidentally puts it in her ass, so he ends up in her ass.
My fucking days. What a miracle of a film. And it's like just, right, the thing is, that would, like, if you listen to this podcast and you haven't watched this film, that might put you off this fucking film. Like, you directed that. This film's actually good. And what was it when you said Dead Snow? Yeah?
Oh, Dead Snow. I'm a big fan of Dead Snow.
Get to Dead Snow.
Okay.
If I hadn't watched the film, I want to watch Sperm again.
Yeah, I have tried to find Sperm again. At the moment, I can't. It's not on the map TV. I'm tempted. He gave us Dead Snow, but he also gave us Dead Snow 2, Red versus Dead. Was it Red versus?
Yeah.
Oh, it was great.
It is fantastic.
And that one is absolutely fantastic. The first one's great. It's Cabin in the Woods, the first one.
And like, just like, you know, you might hear Dead Snow and, you know, after kind of a Sperm Again channel, like, what that's like, Dead Snow, if you haven't seen it, genuinely.
Have you watched it?
Yeah, years ago.
Have you watched the second one?
I haven't seen the second one.
Oh, the second one without.
Special.
I don't want to.
No,
Fuck it. I'm going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil too much of it, but I'm going to say that somehow a Nazi's arm gets put on a guy and a Russian's arm gets put on a Nazi, and because you have their 2 zombie arms, you can control that army.
Yeah. Sounds about right. It's kind of like Evil Dead stuff.
Oh, mate, it's fantastic.
I wouldn't like.
And there's human zombie sex at the end as well.
Yeah. Again, you know, when you hear these sort of concept things, and there are loads of movies out there which have these sort of concepts which sound great on paper, and then you go watch the film, they're poorly directed, they haven't got the budget, and it's like, oh, yeah, great idea, but it's like straight to DVD bollocks. Did they raise Hitler at the end of it?
No, I don't think Hitler comes. It's like one of his SS guys. I don't remember Hitler being in it.
Surely raised it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the difference is with like a film like this and, you know, Dead Snow for that matter, is these are well-directed films. Like, this is a good, like, you know, the scale of it is pretty limited. It's all set basically in one house and, you know, the surrounding grounds. But this is, well, we'll get to that with the other section in a minute. It's a well-shot, well-choreographed, largely well-acted movie. But there is the opening sequence, which it's an amazing we've come this far and haven't mentioned.
Oh, when he's not in Bristol. What was the name of that pub? I wrote that down.
Yeah, especially for Americans who might be watching this film, and I get it. It's like, if we're watching American films, there's Dodge accent. We just don't notice. I like, for instance, like Haskell. Like, I think his American accent sounds quite dodgy because I'm just accustomed to hearing him with an English accent. They might be a perfect American accent for all I know. The accents in Bristol, and I'm doing bunny ears here, they're not Bristolian accents. Where the fuck are they from? And by the way, Bristol also isn't fucking Bristol.
In the pub, We Johnnies.
The first thing my wife said, and she doesn't know, it's like, she watched, to give you an idea of how much she doesn't notice this year. We went to see the original cut of Justice League. Did you see it at the cinema?
Yeah, I was just doing.
I'm sure you remember the infamous opening sequence where it's like a phone and it's Henry Cavill's face and obviously
they CGI'd the moustache, yeah.
And I looked over and said, Beth, and I just went, what? And she went, what? I was like, the moustache? I didn't notice that. I was like, you don't know. Shit. Unbelievable. So the fact that she, as soon as this came on, she's like, that isn't Bristol. That's how bad it is. So yeah, it's a weird opening section to be like, we're going to come in. And of all the places, Bristol.
So
I like Bristol still.
I kind of understood why they wanted it to be in the UK, because it can be night in the UK and be afternoon in America.
Yeah.
So I understand that. But if you're going to do it, I don't know. It's not going to cost much to make it actually look like Bristol, is it?
I guess the point is, for most people, they just don't know what Bristol looks like.
I suppose, yeah.
It's just like,
they wouldn't know. Does it really matter?
Yeah.
Just saying that, it's like most people, like, you know, you think of all the movies that are clearly filmed in, say, like, you know, like, what is it?
Vancouver.
Batman, for instance, is shot largely in Glasgow.
Yeah.
And there are large sections of it. You know, I live in Edinburgh, so I've been to Glasgow a bunch of times where you're just like, that's just Glasgow. That is just Glasgow with a little bit of CG in the background. But 99% of people are going to watch it and be like, oh, it's just Gotham.
It's like everywhere that's set in New York, and I think it's filmed in Vancouver.
Well, loads
There's
of
a lot in there.
Yeah.
I mean, Glasgow's a massive stand-in for loads of films.
Yeah.
I know there were sections of, say, like the Avengers, which were shot in Edinburgh, but they were actually set in Edinburgh. Whereas, like, there's a whole bunch, because Glasgow's basically got boulevards. So it's a great stand-in for like places like Philly and stuff like that.
There was a Mark Wahlberg film in Cardiff, wasn't it? They took the Mayfair Hotel and they drove a car.
Yeah, they made it in New York. That was Infinity.
My God,
Yeah.
Terrible
they
film.
completely cut town off. You couldn't do anything in Cardiff just so they could put up weird American signs everywhere.
And I love it.
Fake drive a car to the
That's
front of a building.
typical Cardiff. That is all Welsh, where we just like, you fucking stop me getting into town, you prick, because you were.
No, I know. I couldn't if I wanted to.
Everyone complains about that. It's
Bunch of bastards.
Yeah.
They actually did that new film, the Tom Hardy one, didn't they? Where it's Havoc, where it's like it's filmed almost exclusively in Wales. It's supposed to be in America.
Yeah.
And it's like in Port Talbot and stuff.
Have you watched it?
No, I was really looking forward to it, and then the reviews weren't great. And I was just like, I'm not sure.
I was really looking forward to it. Then I watched it, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah,
No.
it's such a shame.
You watched it, Dave? No.
I was like, the director, the setup, it's shot in Wales. I'm like,
Yeah.
this sounds like my cup of tea. And then everyone just went, it's
It was the director of The Raid.
Mhm.
The guy that gave us The Raid.
Which is, again, one of the greatest action movies
Yeah,
of all time.
absolutely.
We can't pass it off as a Christmas film.
No.
It was weird. I was talking about saying, I always forget that Rocky IV was a Christmas movie. Why aren't we doing Rocky IV? And we need to.
Because we've done Rocky IV.
Yeah, but we could do, because I've still not watched it. Next Christmas, we have to remember to do this. Rocky IV, the director's cut. So it's different. They
Yeah.
cut out the robot, all that shit. I've never seen the director's cut. So it's like, I think next Christmas, unless he's also somehow cut out Christmas, which, no, their fight is on
They fight on
Christmas.
Christmas. Yeah.
Christmas. But anyway, back to this film. So yeah, the start is weird. But once they get into the house, like I said, I like the fact that he's not, infallible. He doesn't want to get involved. That first sort of fight sequence, the way they balance like genuine violence with just Christmas stuff, like when he sticks the star in his eye.
Yeah.
But then after that, just when he's like low key, like his face catches fire, he's just like, Jesus Christ.
It's everything as well because he's world weary Santa. He's let himself go. He's gotten drunk. He's done all this. When he tries to do, for lack of a better word, a parkour move over the pool table, and he realizes he can't get his leg up, he just tries to crawl over it.
Though I tell you what's always surprising in these films, because when he gets a fucking star in the eye, his face catches fire. But there's no point of reference for that, luckily, for a lot.
Yes.
It's always low-key things. And for me, it's when he has that, like, it's like a sock or whatever, and he fills it with pool balls,
Yeah.
and he just smashes it on the guy's hand. I'm like, that just made me cringe. I'm like, that looks horrendous.
Yeah.
I love the fact that the sock broke. So he didn't just he didn't just do the scene. It was it fucked up. It broke. It's exactly as it would be, and I like that. I like it when things don't go exactly as
I'm trying to be quiet, but I will apologise. We're all together, so if you can hear,
We are pouring drinks.
yeah, we are pouring drinks as we're
And it's
talking.
just
So.
that we do it. Like, we're not going to be one of these savage podcasts where they start fucking eating. I'm still amazed that
Did you
anyone
just
on
put rum
podcast-
in there?
Yeah.
I thought that was the end of my drink. I just drank that meat.
Oh, this is good rum, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think again they get the balance absolutely right. I like the fact that he's kind of clumsy. All those moments. Like you said, it's all. Whenever I come back to moments when Harbour's on screen,
Yeah.
I'm like, this film is knocking it out of the fucking park.
I mean-
I think it's like genuinely like elite level Christmas movie stuff. It's just a shame, like the family stuff. It just doesn't land. You think of like how good, the obvious comparison is Die Hard. So every time John McClane's on screen, it's fantastic. But the reason it's an outright classic is because when he's not on screen, who's on screen? Fucking Hans Gruber.
Yeah.
And it's, John Leguizamo he's not a bad actor. I like John Leguizamo, but the character just isn't.
The character doesn't work at all. And the whole thing about like trying to push down your throat the Christmas names, call me Scrooge, stuff like
They
that.
don't do enough.
No, I want to, like, do the family have to be pricks as well? I don't know. Do they have to be unlikable for this film to work? I don't think they
I
do.
think you can have some of
That's
them.
what they are, though.
No, I get it.
Selling it as they're all a bunch of douchebags. They
I get it.
want mummy's money.
Yeah.
They're all on because they keep going back to the naughty list and stuff like that. They could have been a bit.
That's great. With the Christmas magic. When
Yeah.
he reads it and there's 6 names left, he's like, I can do 6 names. Right. And then the
They
team
all
turns
turn
out and he goes, oh, fuck. But then he takes them, and right, let's get to it. The Brian Adams-esque action sequence
Mhm.
in the
in the cabin.
cabin where he takes the guy out with a lawnmower and everything.
Mhm.
I think it's a great action sequence.
So, like
I think it's fantastic.
amazing action sequence. I saw like
I do
some
have-
of it.
I do have to ask though, with Christmas magic,
Mhm.
how long are you sucking on a candy cane to turn it into a shiv? Because he did that very quickly.
Well, that's just Santa.
He's just
magic.
very talented.
Yeah.
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 Well,
I mean, he's got a good tongue, apparently.
I mean, if that's the only thing you're pulling apart, it's not a
Well,
bad thing.
no, it's not a bad thing. The other thing I'm pulling apart is I'm not a fan of top knots. So when Santa rocks up with a Santa top knot,
But he seems more acceptable because it's kind of harkening back to his Nordic past. So it's not like a kind of modern stylish thing. It's more of I'm this kind of Nordic Viking kind of thing.
Yeah.
So in that specific situation, it's acceptable. Basically, if you're like world's strongest man and you're from Iceland, you have fucking top notch. If you're Santa and you're like kind of, if it's practical and you need it for a reason, I'll accept. If you're in the pub drinking a shandy, and you need a clip.
Sorry, right? That is so specific.
If you're in the pub and he wasn't in Santa, but he was like, he's got a bit of a gut, but he's got his fucking big ass. He's covered in Nordic tattoos. He's got the beard. He's got the top knot. I'm like, he's fucking putting.
And he's got his six pack.
So is he exactly the original? Is he the one and only? Is it just something happened? He got the role, didn't he?
No, so I think it's the whole point of it. He was Nicomund, which I think Nicomund the Red was an actual real life historic figure. And what I'm guessing is he became Santa as like a life change because he said I just murdered everybody. Yeah. So, but I do think he is the original. It's not like it's not Tim Allen taking on the role because he got the suit on. I think he was the original because he said he's centuries old.
Yeah.
So
he's Viking, then he's got to be 1,000.
Thank you. Yeah.
So he's just trying to make up for his wrongdoings.
And he got the role, and he did that.
And where does the magic bag and all that shit? The fact that he doesn't know where anything is.
Do you think they'll get into that? Worried about the sequel that they're going to go too far into the lore.
I think if they similar to what they did in this one, of course you do have those questions in this one. It's like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. And if they do like similarly to this one, you have like a few flashbacks, it doesn't get in the way, but you just have moments which explain like how he got involved with the magic and stuff. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Just don't go for it.
Kat and I are fans of Russell Crowe, Kurt Russell's Christmas Chronicles.
Yeah.
We enjoy that film.
That film is like similarly, like on paper, I'm like totally on board. Love the casting. It wasn't quite as good as
but we did enjoy it. But what I mean is, the first one was good, but then the second one went too deep into the lore with the elves and everything, and that's where I'm afraid that this is going to do. And all right, you're introducing Mrs. Claus, so are you going to introduce the elves? And I don't know if we need
one of the reasons this works is because it's a light touch. It's like we get it. He's fucking Santa. It's like, and for every time you get like a hint of he used to be a Viking and stuff, it gets right back to kind of Santa Claus on the side of a fucking Coca-Cola truck.
Yeah.
Like if anything, watching this film, it made me want cookies and milk. He just kept going around eating. And when I said that to my wife, she was just like, "That's such an Americanism." I was like, "What do you mean? She was eating cookies and milk?"
She's like you for drinking milk. Well, my wife has got it. She eats milk for start.
Yeah.
If I have like a cake or cook, I like it.
I like a glass of milk.
I like it with Oreo.
She's like, what is wrong with it?
I don't know if I'm all right though with cookies and a whiskey.
No, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Santa, and that was the worst David Harbour as Santa looked. When he was scrunched up on that vibrating chair and his four chins under his...
Yeah, it's different if he's Santa. He's doing... I thought you were talking about Dave. Truth be told, I thought he was having whiskey with biscuits.
Dave. Whiskey and biscuits, Dave.
Would not be the first time.
Yeah.
But... like, I guess the big argument was she was like, if you're doing it the British way, it should be sherry in a mince pie.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but that's also shite. I'm like, if I show up and somebody leaves me like cookies and a glass of milk, I'm over the moon. If someone leaves me sherry in a mince pie, I'm like, oh, I'm fucking 90 years old. I appreciate he's actually thousands of years old.
I'm not gonna, just in case your listeners are of a certain age, don't want to be spoiler, but I've left many a mince pie and a glass of whiskey out for Santa.
Oh, we do.
But he is.
Yeah.
And have to drink the whiskey. Well, I say have to. So, I could have done anything with it.
Santa,
it's in a glass. It's got to be fucking drunk, right?
Santa in our house, he can't leave after our house because he gets a cookie. He gets... No, it's fine. What he gets, a Santa gets a cookie, gets whiskey, gets milk, gets a carrot, and gets a mince pie.
Right, so you get a hand job.
Yeah, apparently.
It's how perfect night that is.
Leave him a fry or leave him knocked out as well. He gets everything.
All right, so get into film. Like, what did you make at the end? Like, so obviously you have the Home Alone stuff, and then suddenly it gets very violent at the end. Like, a dude gets shot in the balls.
Oh my
breaks
balls!
his leg, which is usually the most violent bit. Where he takes 2 attempts at it as well.
Yeah, and he hits it, and then he slams through it.
Then you have like the big John Leguizamo sequence where, like, I remember I mentioned, he stabs him in the hand, and he has to tear his hand, and you actually see it. They cut away from that, but it's like obviously inherently violence. Then you get the big Santa moment when he goes up the chimney. I'm all on board for that, yeah. what happens after, I think, is where the film really falls
What, the
down.
I believe stuff?
Well, not even that. I don't mind when they kind of go all in on the I believe. So basically, he's been shot a bunch of times. He's laying down on the floor. I get what they're going for thematically. It's like, we've got to burn the money to keep him warm, save his life. And of course, what we're doing is we're choosing Christmas spirit over money.
Yeah.
The problem is, so again, thematically, I'm on board. I get it. They don't do nearly enough to justify why they have to burn the fucking money.
Well, they only burned half a billion of 300 million. And
Yeah, I think.
What happened right next? There were so many things they could burn, and they go straight to the 3 million.
And also,
Dude, listen, I get what you're doing. Also, who in their right mind's like going straight to the money? It's like, dude, there's like burning wood. And you've got nothing to prove. They've got nothing in their pocket to say, if we keep him slightly warm, he's going to miraculously come back to life.
also, there's not enough time between burning the money
Mhm.
and Santa coming back to life.
It's not the money, is it? It's,
No,
it's
the
the fact that they
All
all
I mean is,
believe.
they burnt the money, and then Santa was like, "Oh, I'm alive." If they would have waited 30 seconds and just believed,
Do you really want 30 seconds of dead space of people just staring at
Well, that is the thing.
all
I
right.
get it. Like,
All right.
I'm going to go for a stretch.
It's a theme, isn't it? As long as everyone believes he's okay, and that's fine.
Santa's been fucked up loads of times in this film, and he's been shot a bunch of times, as you said. But
And no one cares.
yeah,
At that point.
but it's Mike Dopud as the kick-ass squad, whatever their names were. Yeah,
The
he's
Death Squad.
The Death Squad. Sorry,
Yeah.
he's the one that takes him out. It's funny. Like, he's
Yeah,
out
that's
of nowhere.
Yeah, you don't know.
How does the matriarch manage to creep up on an elite assassin without knowing? She's right next to him
Yeah.
with guns with temple.
And
Like, it's snowing around. If you ever walk in snow, there's no way she is creeping up on a well-trained guy.
Christmas magic.
Christmas
Yeah,
magic.
that is the answer to everything. And again, even that, like that last week, you can make that argument exactly. It's like it's got nothing to do with the physical aspect of the money burning. It's the theoretical, the thematic kind of, say, oh, well, we're burning the money, we're choosing Christmas first. That makes him better. So everything is fine.
So I'm just going to say, is that on? Are we warm?
Yeah.
You can turn it off if you want. Turn it the other way. Sorry.
Yeah, just remember, podcast, we're talking about a heater. It's very warm again all of a sudden. Do we have anything else before we move on to the favorite two?
Check my notes.
Yeah, this is one of the films that I really struggled to make any notes for.
Yeah.
I kind of felt as I was watching it that not a lot really happened. But as soon as you start talking about it, there's quite a lot going on, isn't there?
It's just small scale, but it's just and the thing is, it's also familiar because of Die Hard, because of Home Alone and stuff like that. So you're not seeing anything new. It's just packaged in a slightly different way.
I mean, I like the jingle bells as the percussion. Every time
Yeah.
something's happening, you got the jingle bells. The practical gore and the explosive kills. I think going practical, I always think is better.
Yeah, when she stuck the icicle in his neck,
Yeah.
the blood was
Yeah,
and
I-
he started bubbling
the-
up around his ear.
The you got the cozy lighting versus the brutal action. So all this Christmas lights and everything. I mean, getting shot in the balls, I think is great. Anyway, I love
I guess it is a nod to rom-com.
Yeah.
You know, that it's-
I love Santa's design. I think Santa's great.
What
in
do you
this.
think of the suit being almost kind of leather?
I was alright with
I
it.
was agreeing with
Yeah.
My wife seems like she was, is this suit leather? I was just like, well, he's supposed to be like an all-action Santa, and he's supposed to like harken back to God knows how long. I was just like, I'm not against
We
it.
said about him being shot in the balls. So to take it slightly off topic, when I went to Vegas, we went to the gun range.
Yeah, it's like,
And,
I know this story.
We did some shooting, and my wife has never shot a gun.
Yeah.
She used a pink AK-47, and the very first round went straight through the guy's dick.
Yeah, so
And the guy looked at me. He stood next to me. He looked at me and went, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
So yeah, don't fuck with her.
I mean, I love your wife. She's also dick height.
well,
Yeah, so she.
That's why I stay with her so long.
The other thing I got to add before we move on is
the only problem is you're also different. So,
Well, to you, it's a sliding scale.
I mean, when we walk down the street, you on the left and then me in the middle, and we look like the evolution of man.
Oh my god, why am I always fucking DeVito in this thing? 'Cause I'm always the shit left over, aren't I? Jesus.
Good actors. What do we think of Trudy?
I think she's good. I like her.
She's too fucking happy. Yeah, I think she's
I don't mind the happy. I think she goes a bit overboard.
I think there's a lot of films where kids, bad child actors derail movies. I'm not saying like it's a world class performance. I just think
she's a decent
good.
actress. She's okay.
decent. she's a bit of a psycho, which is kind of almost not played up enough.
Yeah.
It's just like, you're like, wait, am I the only one finding it absolutely insane? Like, you consider a family and stuff like that. It is kind of cool.
Do you know,
And I think that
it would be a massive stretch, would it, if she'd been fucking mastermind at the end of it?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
she masterminded the whole thing. She's fucking loving it.
And Santa kills her parents. Santa ruined every fucking thing by showing up.
I mean, maybe I'm giving the film too much credit, but if, obviously this is, as you mentioned, your son's harking back to 80s cinema. Like, one of the great things about 80s cinema, for us growing up, certainly, was that they used to make films which weren't afraid to scare kids. And it's all like that kids want to be scared, they actually want to see the violence. And that's what she represents in this film. It's like every time he's telling us, like, about shooting you in the ass, he's like, oh, no, say the anus or whatever, all that nonsense. And she, she wants to see the violence. In the same way, if you were watching this as a kid, you'd be like, yeah, I want to see Santa kick ass. Don't cut away. I want to see the violence.
When she talked him into just kicking ass in the shed,
Yeah.
I thought she was going to go through that window as fast as she ran up to that window to look.
To go back to your initial question, I think she's perfect.
I loved as well. It's the last thing to mention before we move on is Santa was basically me at that point. When he puts that grenade in that guy and then just turns around and goes, well, I gotta look.
Oh, yeah.
You could not look.
And that's the reason we wanted to see the film. In front of the trailer before it was on film.
Yes. It's only delivers the like, holy shit. I'm like, it's how Lonely delivers it really well.
Yeah. I mean, David Harbour is the reason I like the not so good Hellboy. I think David Harbour is Hellboy. It's fantastic.
If anything, being good in that upsets me more because I think he looks great. I think he's great. I just think the film's so bad he can't say that.
Not again.
Whereas this film, it's a decent film that he brings up to another level. When it's Hellboy, and it's like, even he can't say. Then they're the films that drive me crazy. When you do the hard bit right, when like, oh, you've got the casting right, you've got the look right, and then everything else right, just drives me.
Do we think? Sorry, again, one more thing before we move on. Do we think though that enough is enough? And I know we're going to talk about sequels moving on. Maybe I'll bring it up again, but I like the idea of Santa, and I like the idea of a sequel coming. But I don't need it to go any further and then it to become like straight to DVD or, John Leguizamo's brother.
I think
you see that like that didn't happen in every single Die Hard.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
That's the thing. If it's a clean slate, if it's just Santa doing something else, I think it'll work. If they start trying to bring the family or the bad guys back into it, that's where it's.
Yeah.
So if he goes and does a completely different story, be a badass Santa somewhere else, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, listen, I would love nothing more than to go like full like Die Hard with vengeance and get like a black bloody sidekick kind of thing. So actually, if you get Samuel Jackson, get Samuel Jackson.
Do you know what's funny as well? Do you know what's funny? He can actually, if it's Santa with Santa, he can actually get Zeus. No, he can get Zeus, the real Zeus.
That's what I was thinking. No, because his name is spelled Jesus. It's Jesus.
Yeah.
Just have him play Jesus. Just black Jesus.
No, his name wasn't Jesus. They called him Jesus. He said, no, my name's Zeus. He said, hey, Zeus, like, hello. But my name is Zeus. Like, I will shove a lightning bolt up your ass, motherfucker.
His name was Jesus, but everyone pronounces Jesus.
No, he is Zeus, like the Greek. Yeah. So he could be the real Zeus.
Angry Samuel L. Jackson being Santa. Now that's a movie I want to see.
You can make either one work. Because it's Santa, you can make Jesus work. But because he's from Northern, you can make the Zeus thing work. I know it's a different view.
There's a reason we only record together in the same room once a year. We get very excited.
We do have but you mentioned a sequel there. It's like one of the reasons this is getting a sequel, and I think one is there's becoming more movies like this.
Yeah.
Is this was the 20 million budget. It made 76 million worldwide gross. So a big hit straight off the bat. And this would do huge numbers on DVD, Sky, all that jazz. And it's just like there should be more movies made at this kind of budget. It doesn't need to be a bigger scale. The reason they can make it for 20 million and still make it look great is because it's set in a house.
Yeah, they never go anywhere else.
Yeah. This movie, like you said, you can still set in a mall, which feels bigger, but it doesn't mean it has to cost 80 million and suddenly adding risk. Make it for 20, 30 million again. It'll make another 80, 90 million, maybe even more because people are waiting now. Yeah. And that's what they get. So many sequels make that mistake. It's like, oh, we spent 20 million on the first one, then spend fucking 120, and then all of a sudden you've got to change the tone because as soon as you start bringing that number up, the executives suddenly start taking an interest. Like, oh, we're going to have to be a little bit careful. You can't do this, you can't do that. It's a bit like keep it 20 and just, exactly. That's kind of example.
They found somewhere that was derelict. They tarted it up a little bit and made a movie and brilliant. Yeah. There's bound to be lots of places where you can make a movie It's not going to cost you the earth. You just make it look like what it should look like at the time. No one else cares. It's brilliant. That's what you should be doing.
For a small scale, but just keep it looking good.
Yeah.
Just keep it cinematic.
It makes you get more inventive with not just the kills or anything like that, with how you do the thing, with the effects and things like that.
Yeah.
Being on a shoestring budget, it's only 25 million is a shoestring budget. It's fucking funny, isn't it? But it is. It makes you get more inventive with.
Limited budget is the mother of invention. I'm pretty sure that's the saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's in the ballpark. But yeah, absolutely. And hopefully that's what I'm not saying you can't spend 30 million on it, but you just don't go crazy. Keep the tone. That's the important thing. Just get that bad guy. So it'll be some more interesting nowadays.
I think to get somebody that looks like he could stand up against Santa. Because again, I've said I level up John Leguizamo, pesticide. Sorry,
The movie
aside. But I think he's a good actor. I think he's good in the roles that he does. I don't see him as the main villain.
No, he's not threatening.
No.
The thing is, though, and
I'll be blessed.
once again, is Hans Gruber. He's not big, he's not threatening, but he's intellectual and he's got screen cred.
That's it, but he's not John Leguizamo. And I think he put a bit too much timber on Blair. And coming from a fat guy myself, but I think he put a bit too much timber on.
I think one of the issues
Yeah, but you're not threatening, so it's all right.
No, nobody thinks I'm threatening at all.
Is that he just needs to be better written.
Yeah.
But which actually takes me to one of my major road takes of this film.
Are we going into road takes?
In which we pick out something innocuous that most folk wouldn't have noticed, but usually drives you crazy. There are two things that drive me crazy in this film. I'm not sure if one counts as a road take, so I'll go for that one first. But they have that first fight in it's like a games room downstairs, which is very cool.
That's the second fight. The first one is upstairs where he chucks the guy out to the window. Yeah.
And it reminds me of Rocky 3 when they just inexplicably decide to destroy a really cool looking pinball machine. There's something about destroying really awesome pinball machines. It's not as egregious as Paulie just smashing up that Rocky pinball machine. Start Rocky 3, which is the absolute piece of art. This one, I think it upsets me more because it just reminds me of the start of Rocky 3.
Yeah.
But what really gets me is when what do we call him, Mr. Scrooge, John Leguizamo.
Yeah, Mr. Scrooge. Yeah,
he comes into the house initially. And he's like, I'm like basically calling himself Mr. Screwdriver. They have like a good 3 to 4 second opportunity to just shoot him there and then. They're like, security are there, are supposed to be defending these people, and they're criminals. So they're not like, this isn't like, tippy tappy shit. He's broken into the house. They have clear line of sight. He fucking monologues. I see monologues. It's like 3 or 4 seconds, but that's plenty of time to shoot bullets at him.
I thought the same because he then just pulled out his extendable baton, but also he came out of the fucking panic room.
Yeah. I
get into the panic room.
Well, this was my rob take. I assumed that was the panic room.
Yeah.
That seems to have 2 doors in it.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So he was either in the panic room they hadn't quite got there, which I hadn't really thought of. So yeah. Kind of fucked my my rob take over. I thought there's 2 doors in this panic room, which kind of fucks over the idea of a panic room.
Yeah. Well, that brings me, and I guess maybe it's one of those things I've missed again watching this film, because this was like basically the first time watching the film, is John Leguizamo, like every time they ask a question of John Leguizamo, his answer is, I know everything about you. And I thought there was going to be some kind of explanation to that.
Yeah.
It's never really. No, it's just like every time they kind of run into a plot point, it's like, how would he know this? It's just like, well, I fucking know, bro.
Villain magic.
Villain magic. Anyway, do you have a Rob tip?
I do. I'm sorry. This is very, very niche compared to your two. I do apologize. The second fight, the one you've just mentioned, Liam, downstairs, Santa throws a dartboard at the villain.
Yep.
Yeah. One of the dartboards skewers his right thigh.
The dartboard?
Well, one of the darts, I'm sorry. The dartboard was very sharp. One of the darts skewers his right thigh. You go away from him, you come back, the dart is in his left thigh. You go away, you come back, it's in his right thigh. Get it fucking right. You know where the dart has gone. It was so annoying to me.
Well, this is why it's called Rob's take and not Liam's take, for instance. So, I didn't know.
I didn't like the fact
I did like how he slammed the dart through his leg, mind.
Yes. Yeah. And just pushed it through.
So that's, that leads us into favourite scene. I mean, for me, it is probably that first big fight scene. And, I mentioned earlier it ends with the dude's head on fire. And, like, not only is it choreographed brilliantly, but like I say, it sets the tone for the rest of the film. It's like, this is going to be like an all-action kind of, like you said, it's not a horror film at this point. It's an action movie, and it's shot like an action movie. It's choreographed like a proper action movie, and it's all the better for it. And I think, like you say, I could almost pick any sequence where Harbour is on screen, but that's probably my favorite sequence.
I I'll go first, Dave, because you're a little bit busy. I'll give an honourable mention, unless Dave's going to mention it, to the kick-ass, take out the whole death squad.
Yeah,
That's the honourable mention.
one, yeah.
But I like the Home Alone sequence.
Yeah, that's great.
The traps that will make Kevin McCallister proud. Except these traps actually work to kill people. You got like skulls getting smashed. Santa watching it with glee. You know, he's kind of confused, proud, and slightly horrified that Trudy has just fucked up the world. You know.
Yeah, it's like that kind of weird thing at the end. It's like, yeah, she's really sweet, but also she's definitely a psycho. And
Yeah.
It's like one of those things, and like you can age out of things. It's like, it's cute now because she's like this little girl. But what happens if she's still like that when she's like 17? It's like, I always said, like, there was this guy we knew when we were younger, and he used to just get pissed. Like, we also used to go out and like hit the booze pretty hard. But you'd see him like walking around the park in the morning, like just getting drunk. And that was funny. And then all of a sudden, one day we all woke up and went, oh, I think he might be an alcoholic. It suddenly becomes depressing. And it's the same with her. It's like, it's cute now. But she's like 18. You're like, oh man, she might be a serial killer.
Can you imagine her boyfriend in college having to go through a set of traps just to get into her dorm room?
God, it's just too much. And she's got that fucking family. Tricky stuff.
Dave, favourite scene?
Yeah, I sort of went with the big fight scene.
Yeah, sorry, I jumped onto that.
Yeah, but as a mention, ironically, the scene that you two guys seem to hate, I enjoyed the beginning. I know
they're not scene, but it's just not Bristol.
It was. They got onto the roof, and
she pukes on.
Yeah, when I puked at it. I mean, I was eating my lunch at the time, and I kind of because that was pretty graphic.
Yeah.
But, now thinking about it now, I don't think I know a flat roof in Britain like that.
No, we don't get it. And
but there's the little doorway on the top. I mean, that is so American looking.
So American.
Because it looks like to get into Wee Johnny's, you've got to go downstairs.
Yeah.
So you got to go downstairs into Wee Johnny's and then go up all the way upstairs to the flat roof.
There's something about it. It was just quaint and calming that he was getting pissed. So he did it in Britain. And then he went upstairs and he puked on her head.
He said one of the best lines, though.
It is funny, sir.
When he asked for a drink, it was kind of, are you driving?
Well, I'm still standing.
I steer, but the reindeer do most of the work.
Yeah. I liked it when he said, I'm still standing. I'd like to change that.
Yeah.
Well, right. I have to ask this question, yeah. So say you suddenly realize, because, he flies off. She's like, fuck, Santa's real.
Yeah.
The magic exists. Then he pukes in her face. Right? Being puked on, not good, right? But if Santa pukes on your face, you're like, is this still kind of awesome? Just because you're like, I just found out Santa exists and he puked on
Well,
it.
you're like collecting it for DNA or something.
Oh, just because like it sucks, right? But at the same time, you still like it's not ruined.
I mean, it's great. You could see it dripping in from mouth as well, and I was like, "Oh, that's too much."
I don't think I'm telling that story. I don't think anybody.
I'm trying to sell that to the government.
I want you for that. I'm telling everyone I know. They're like, dude, Santa exists, and like bullshit.
Yeah,
but not only that,
but Liam, if you
fucking puked on me from his sleigh.
If you keep telling people this, you'll be the guy who ends up in the park drinking by himself.
Yeah.
But so who are you going to be though? Because are you going to be the woman telling people that Santa puked on me, or are you going to be the guy in the White House who says Santa pissed on me? Because Santa, you've got a scene at the beginning where Santa's pissing over the edge. But the way it's set up with, and this is why I know this, the way the Washington Monument is set up, Santa's over the White House.
Yeah.
So Santa's pissing on, so there's guards on top of the White House. So Santa's pissed on a guard.
I mean, right, you you've pissed on a guard, right? And I'm like, if suddenly I'm standing outside and I realize someone's pissed on me, I'm like, well, that's bad news. But then immediately I'm like, well, I'm standing on the roof of the White House. Who the fuck is pissed on me? And I look up and I see it's actually Santa. I'm like, I don't know if I'm that upset about getting pissed on.
I'm pretty sure this guy's up on the top of the White House with rocket launch.
Yeah.
Santa's getting his ass shot.
Especially depending on who's in office. You know?
Does Santa magic no fly zones?
Yeah.
Maybe. I'd certainly be on the naughty list. But anyway, next up is Oscar season, in which we hand out 3 Oscars and 3 Razzies in categories of our choosing. My 3 Oscars, the Oscar for Best On-Screen Santa goes to David Harbour. And special shout out for another great beard, just fantastic beard. Like you said, of course he's got the classic Santa look, but he's a really awesome looking Santa. The suit, the beard, everything. To the Oscar for Best Voice Choreography in a Christmas movie goes to, yes, Violent Night. I don't think that's any exaggeration. This has got the best fight choreography of any Christmas movie. I can't think of a single one which comes close. Like, even if you're like, I'm going to count Die Hard, Oh, that's got fun choreography like this. It's a different kind of
Yeah.
movie for sure, but it's very awesome. And 3, the Oscar for quickest recovery from a finger break goes to Alex Hassel in this film. Playing, is it Jason? I forgot his character's name.
Jason, yeah.
Early in the film, he gets his fingers broken just before they're about to like crush his nuts in the nutcracker. He gets over those broken fingers immediately. So no signs of trouble.
Yeah, but you
whatsoever.
know they say they can't actually fix a broken finger. They just got to tape it to the next one.
Get over it.
Yeah, but it's hurt the whole day, and it's supposed to be bent out of shape.
Yeah.
I know
It's inconvenient.
Yeah, like 2 weeks. I'm not saying he should still be playing that, but it's like the rest of that day. For fuck's sake.
And did you want to fix them up and go, ooh,
Maybe something.
He's going to look at his hands and go, well, I ain't wanking for a week, am I? Jesus.
Something. I mean, yeah, a little crash for sure.
Yeah.
And of course, the Oscar for best Home homage goes to yes, but that's a sneaky fourth.
Of course, there's a fourth.
Of course.
Best use of a sledgehammer in a holiday film goes to Santa's Skull Crusher. Well, no, not Santa's Skull Crusher. I'm sorry, Santa's replacement Skull Crusher. He just grabbed the sledgehammer and just
It's
went fucking nuts.
Molinar, isn't it?
Yeah. Nice Marvel reference. My kid will be proud.
That's the only one I got.
Best cathartic Christmas kill has to be the lawnmower when he drags him in.
It's not a lawnmower.
Wood chipper.
No, it's a snow. It churns up the snow.
Okay.
Gets it off the path.
Whatever it is.
Best cathartic Christmas kill is the snow thing that churns up the path.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, so.
Best Santa Claus backstory has to go to Viking Santa. When you think of Santa Claus's backstory, Santa Claus the movie, fucking Kurt Russell as Santa, I think Viking Santa is probably a very good backstory. I was a fucking terrible person. Now I'm Santa.
Yeah, I quite like
I think it's pretty, yeah.
Well, I've only got one left. You said it all.
Okay.
My Oscar for the most innovative kills goes to Santa.
Mm.
I mean, star in the eye, set your face on fire. You've got wearing ice skates on the hand, chop your head off.
That was pretty bad.
That was good. Yeah.
Dead into a snow chopper upper type
Yeah,
thing.
Okay, it's
That's
no
pretty
problem.
cool.
Yeah.
And then ripped through a fireplace to your full face.
That was actually a great one.
I mean,
that was cool. Because that's the thing, you don't see it coming by then.
No.
But all the way through, they've been playing the action sequences, including that action sequence to say, pretty sure. So when he does like the nose went off and you're like, is it gonna happen? Like, what happens next? Is that what I expected to?
does he turn into it or not?
No, he just explodes, which is awesome.
The film is it's okay. I don't think this is a brilliant film by any stretch of the imagination, but it really went all out for the innovative kills.
Yeah.
And I think they really went for it.
I've got to give a fourth. Sorry, I'm going to do a Liam here. Let's go back and give a fourth mention to best use of using a baby manger crib as a sled.
Yeah,
Has to go to this film. Because the way he grabs that thing and just uses it as a surfboard or a sled. And it's got power, apparently. Because there was no actual gradient.
Christmas magic.
He was higher up, wasn't he? Because he was looking down on
I
it.
didn't feel like when he first set off there
I
was.
mean, he wasn't going that fast.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was higher up. That's one thing I did like. Sorry,
That's
we're going off topic again. When he was about to choke the woman with tinsel.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to choke someone with tinsel. I mean, you're going to wrap that around someone's neck. It's going to snap, isn't it?
I guess so, yeah.
Ask Jack Frost. Oh, no, they were Christmas lights.
They were Christmas
They were
lights.
Christmas
Yeah, I
lights.
mean, tinsel's
Yeah.
not.
No,
It's not a.
I mean, you're not using tinsel as a
it's not a
cross.
secret weapon. Is
Yeah.
it?
That feels like it belonged in the Rob Tick section.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it was funny when he got rumbled, he just threw it at him.
The Razzie for worst British accent goes to everyone in Bristol. We don't need to explain that any more than we already have. The Razzie for least convincing portrayal of an American goes to Alex Hassel. We've already explained that. And the Razzie for worst song and otherwise awesome scene goes to Brian Adams. That's it. The song itself is absolutely fine. That sequence just deserved better, as well as fit.
The Razzie for the least likable family unit goes to the Lightstones. They were very unlikable. The worst influencer I've ever seen goes to Bertrude Lightstone.
He kind of wins everyone over at the end.
At the end of it, yeah, Santa's real. Be good. Peace out.
Yeah. Like his whole like arc towards the end, you just don't expect it. It's just like he might actually be the most likable of the whole family.
Yeah. And the Razzie for the longest time to stare at a nail goes to
Unbelievable.
yeah.
It really.
like. I mean, why are you inspecting that nail?
It's almost like he was looking at her. Come on,
Yeah,
come on now,
hurry up.
now.
It's so long. It was like just painfully long. Look, is this a nail? Is this a nail that was in my ass? I wonder. Let me look up a bit higher. Is this the nail that was in? Oh, okay, is it my head now? Like fucking hell.
I was gonna give
That guy wanted to die.
benefit out. Like they overplayed so much that it does become like cartoonish.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they're just like, we know this is ridiculous, so we're just gonna like really fucking lean into it.
You know, look up to it and then it hits
Yeah.
you, but it wasn't, was it?
No, it was a
like
long
like
time.
10, 15 seconds.
It looked great though when it was through his mouth. I kind of wanted
yeah.
her to step on his head as she was going up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little bit like what's the Simon Pegg film? When he's a policeman.
Oh, Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz.
Oh,
When
when,
he gets
when
like the steeple,
Timothy
yeah.
Dalton, he goes, "That's really nice."
It's also good in that film. It's so good.
Dave Razzies.
Yeah, the only one I've got left is it's the worst death, and that goes to the Krampus. I mean, it gets better when she stabs him through the neck.
Yeah.
But at one point, they basically just tap him to death.
Yeah.
Like they're not even hitting him properly. They're literally just like tapping him on the forehead.
I mean,
And then he's covered in blood. You're like, that's not happening.
I'll pick.
He's also got fucking knives and guns on his belt. He killed them instantly.
I'll piggyback on that and go the worst henchman in the world.
Oh, I know.
Krampus.
I mean, the guy was a psychopath, and I like a psychopath. You can do a lot with a psychopath, can't you?
This is why we're friends.
Exactly. You know, they didn't lean into that at all.
No.
Other than the fact that he wanted to stick his nuts in a nutcracker.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a wasted character, really.
Yeah, he's lovely. Any alternative titles in this film?
We do. I was not prepared. Bear with me a second.
No worries.
I am more prepared. Right. Go to the top. Argentina, A Night Without Peace.
That's okay.
Azerbaijan, The Cruel Night.
Mm-hmm.
Brazil, Unhappy Night.
Okay.
Croatia, Wild Night.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a porno.
It does, yeah. What else we got here? Italy, A Violent and Silent Night.
It's okay. Well, a lot of these films kind of have crossover. Like last weekend, I went to see Deadly Night. Sorry, what was it? Violent Night, Deadly Night.
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah, Silent Night, Deadly Night, which is basically Violent Night. It's all very good. You can see why I get
Latvia, Cruel Night.
See, they're all the fucking same.
Yeah. There's got to be some. Slovakia, Crazy Night.
I mean, there is porno crossovers.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I own some of these films.
Ukraine, Fierce Night. Yeah. And Vietnam, Brutal Night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll stick with Violent Night. It's fine. Any facts in this one?
Yeah, Dave, do you got any?
I think we talked to
Yeah,
a lot
okay.
of them.
The logo on the catering company van is called Farkas and Dill, after the bullies in the film A Christmas Story. Sorry, was it?
You okay?
Yeah. Scrooge asked Santa Claus, "All right, who the hell are you really?" Some security. Oh, we've already mentioned that's the Die Hard one. Sorry. In one of the many references to Die Hard, one character is named Thorpe. The book on which Die Hard is based, Nothing Lasts Forever, was written by Roderick Thorpe.
That's a deep category, that one.
Merry Christmas, Everybody by Slade is a British Christmas anthem. It was chosen for the closing credits by David Harbour's British wife at the time, Lily Allen.
Oh, poor Lily.
Poor Lily Allen. The film started in England makes sense, as time zones would allow Santa to already be on his rounds in the UK while it's afternoon in America. Mr. Scrooge was originally going to be called Mr. Grinch, but the filmmakers had to change his name to Mr. Scrooge because they couldn't clear the rights for the Grinch name.
Fair enough.
The saint upon which Santa Claus was based, Saint Nicholas, was famous for a fight at the Council of Nicaea.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, that'll do. Beverly D'Angelo.
Isn't this serious?
I mean, you're talking to the guy who gets told off for Slovenia or Slovenia, so yeah. Beverly D'Angelo appears as the family matriarch in another Christmas movie, obviously National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Both movies also include heavily armed and trained individuals. This is a stretch, by the way, for facts. Heavily armed and trained individuals invading her home on Christmas Eve. Explosions, someone's hair catching on fire, and death by Christmas tree light electrocution.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch.
Violent Night was... oh, no. Fucking ruined some VOD. We don't need that. Body count 43. 44 if you're counting Santa's brief death.
Oh, that's more than I would have thought.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have said anywhere near that.
Well, I mean, it was only like 4 until the death squad showed up. And it was like,
I didn't see.
fuck
Was there 40 of them turned up? It didn't seem
I
that
don't
many.
know. Yeah.
I'm willing to believe in them.
Yeah.
I believe everything we have on the internet. So okay, we're still done. How to the Future, so it's really asked a question, remake sequel that is only one alone. We've already answered that sequel. So I think we're all, we've got our concerns like we would with any movie, but I think we're all relatively happy with the idea of a sequel.
Yeah, not upset with it.
No,
I'm not.
Would you be unhappy if there wasn't one? No, not really.
Would I care if it wasn't great? Not particularly.
So yeah, for me, as you've said, I don't want to go too much into the lore, but I'd love to see more of this Santa doing
Harbour.
Well,
his
that's
stuff.
what you want to see.
Yeah, exactly.
What this reminds me of is, did you see Mortal Kombat? Not the 95 one, the most recent one.
2021 one.
Yeah. Right. That's not a great film, but they got a lot right. Like, I liked a lot of the cast. I liked the interpretations of the characters. And the movie around it wasn't bad, but it wasn't fantastic. But I was like, they got nearly everything right. And there was a great movie potentially in here. I hope they make a sequel. This one gets a lot more right. And like you said, the important thing is David Harbour is fantastic. And I want to see David Harbour more. If you can build a slightly better movie around him, you can have like a genuinely classic Christmas film.
Yeah.
This isn't quite there, but the ingredients are potentially there. And the important thing is they've got the great Santa.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm like I said, the sequel could go either way. But when I say it could go either way, I think there is a genuinely great sequel in this potentially. Of course, it could be a turd, but we'll see.
And this is one of the first as well, where because this is a relatively new film than what we usually cover. We'd say about we'd like to see a sequel. We're actually getting the sequel. We've already mentioned it a number of times. We're getting it next year. Next Christmas, maybe it'll be a Christmas film that I choose.
Yeah, it could be. And again, I wouldn't necessarily be against. Like, even if it's bad, I wouldn't mind talking about why it didn't work. It's like, yeah, it's definitely on the cards. Maybe changes when we take just if you could get one change to this movie to make it better. And again, this is always a bit of a wide swing one. Like, this is just one thing, but it's better writing. You can make an argument for better supporting cast, perhaps. But I always think, I know you're not the biggest fan of Bad Santa because you're insane, but if you don't like Bad Santa, you don't like Bad Santa.
I didn't mind it very much.
I can't remember what I did yesterday. Fucking hell.
I don't think he joined us for Bad Santa.
Yeah, but I thought he was aware of it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, one of the reasons that film is so great is because the Coen brothers were involved in the writing process. And I just think if you take this movie where, conceptually it's such a great idea, and you get something like the caliber of the Coen brothers to take a run at the script, I think it just brings it up a notch.
Yeah, okay.
So that's what I'm really doing.
Dave?
For me, it's music. I know it wasn't a big issue for you, but it really fucking annoyed me. But I couldn't. You guys are.
You're stuck with the kind of cognitive dissonance of seeing the violence played against the kind of cheerful songs kind of thing. Whereas,
Yeah.
For one reason or another, I hear it, I'm like, oh, tonally it works, but it's
Do you know what it feels like?
Yeah, to me, I need to be led. I need to be told what, the music hasn't told me this is bad. Now I'm jovial, everyone's dead.
It feels like Nicolas Cage in Face Off having a gunfight against Somewhere Over the Rainbow because the kids listening to the.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, for me, it didn't work.
For me, I know I've said I don't need like the elves or a lot of the lore or anything, but what I think this film needs is to lean further into Santa's Viking past. More flashbacks, the mythic villain, just deepen the lore a little bit. Just tell me why he became Santa.
That would be good, wouldn't it? For the second film, it's something from his Viking past.
I don't need all to go full into Santa's village or anything like that. But what I do need is a bit more of maybe why he became Santa.
Yeah.
Badass fucking Viking baddie.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah,
That
absolutely. Krampus. Santa's fighting Krampus. Yeah.
Well, that's a good example of a film where you think of this, it's a great concept, and they, I applaud it for getting it mostly right because the Krampus on paper, you look at the aesthetic, what they're going for, the casting, the Krampus should be a fucking home run.
Yeah.
It's just not very good.
No.
And it was all, the most annoying thing about it is you watch it and I'm not even sure why. You think of some of the movies we covered on this podcast where you're just you can pick it apart for its direction. The Krampus, from what I remember, I haven't seen it for a while, maybe. It's harder to pin down why it doesn't work. It doesn't fucking work because that is so much less than some of its parts, which they're the ones that drive me crazy, where you've got all the ingredients to make this, potentially great film. And you're like, why isn't this better?
Yeah.
It drives me up the wall. In terms of video games, unsurprisingly, there is no Violent Night video game. I have two options. So if you want to go old school, I would go Namco and Shigeru Yokoyama and bring back, remember Splatterhouse? Just have him with his hammer going left to right, just smashing everyone basically. But if you want to be a bit more ambitious, do you remember, and I'm sure you would have played this, Starbreeze Studios' The Darkness from 2007?
I fucking love The Darkness.
Yeah, I used to play. There was a great sequel as well. And basically, it's a game about an anti-hero. And instead of having the darkness powers, he just has Santa powers. But you think in terms of scale, you just showed me the graphic novel.
Yeah,
So,
I pulled out the graphic novel literally from the left of me. So
yeah. So I think he's on board with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, instead of like fucking snakes as powers, he's just got Santa powers.
Yeah.
But the same kind of vibe. So I'm going to go with Starbury Studios' The Darkness, starring David Harbour as Santa.
Yeah.
With that.
For me, I'm going to give an honourable mention to, like last week, I think it was, God of War Ragnarok. I mean, it's basically the same kind of thing, isn't it? It's not festive, but the vibe is undeniable. Santa with the Viking pass is essentially Kratos with a sleigh. So, but I actually got to go for Max Payne 3.
That's a good shout.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's a drunk in that as well.
Yeah.
Disillusioned.
Yeah. If Violent Night had a spiritual twin, it'd be Max Payne.
That's a fucking great answer.
It's
a great answer.
Max Payne is older, he's heavier, he's addicted to painkillers, he's running on fumes. He's not a slick action hero. He's a wreck. Beat you a couple of times.
You're on a fucking run of just
Liam, you just got to give this up.
As soon as he said that, I was like, God damn, man, Max Payne. When he said Max Payne, I was like, yeah, whatever. Max Payne 3, however, is perfect.
I mean, swap Max's dual pistols for a sledgehammer and a bit of Christmas magic.
That's not bang on as well.
Yeah. I don't know what he just said.
No. I mean, I didn't even ask you. I knew you were out with this one. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, no, that one is really, that was annoyingly good again. So yeah, you went this week quite. I thought I had a home run. That's a great response. Like, oh yeah, nailed it. No, the correct answer is absolutely Max Payne 3.
I really enjoy watching Liam squirm when you get it right.
It's fucking disgusting.
Because Liam is the video game guy. Liam, before this, if anyone can find it, and we'll honorably mention it, Liam had a video game podcast. And I started listening, and it was really good. And this is why we came into this. So Liam's the video game guy. But for some reason, I seem
also,
to beat him.
if anyone can find where Liam lives, there's about £4 million worth of video games.
Shit, it is apparently. We'll go with Roger again. That's fine. Which leads us to our own. Before you go to our own scores and recommendations, there's the IMDb section. I actually forgot to make a note for that. So
I was amazed. Sorry, I was looking at the Rotten Tomato scores.
Yes,
they're high, right?
Really?
Yeah.
But like 87% for public people.
Yeah, no, because it's weird. Because this is why I prefer Metacritic to Rotten Tomato. I can totally get why this would have a really high Rotten Tomato, because basically all Rotten Tomato is saying, when it's fresh,
is it just good or bad?
It's just like I like it. So if it's like 3 stars and above, that's fresh.
Yeah,
and I can totally see why nearly everyone would give this. Like, I think this is like, well, you can make an argument between 3 and 4. Yeah. But if someone came in and said, "Oh, that's a 1-star film," I'm just like, I don't get where you're coming from. Because it's like in the same way, I don't think it's a 5-star film, but it's good. It's just a good film. So
it needs a value in between.
I bet
good or
you
bad.
It's like 89% on Rotten Tomorrow, but I bet you on like Metacritic, it's probably like 62 or something like that.
I mean, I could look.
Right? It's like a lot of them are going to be kind of like 3-star-ish, like, or like positive about the film. Not calling it a masterpiece or anything like that, but he's looking at Metacritic now. Yeah. So we're gonna have to.
I was going to
say vape. But vape is actually smoking.
Yeah. Vamp. Yeah, the Violent Night.
The
IMDb is 6.7 out of 10, so that's really good for.
Very nice. Well, fuck.
It's
is it like a next Friday?
The Metascore is 50. The Metascore is 55.
Yeah, that's right.
And the user score is 6.6.
Yeah,
that's an out of 10.
Yeah. It's mid-range.
Yeah,
it's exactly what you said. 3. Yeah.
A lot of people are giving that I actually think 53 is a little bit low, but anyway, that's fine. But in terms of IMDb, you mentioned it's got 6.7 on there, but we're just trying to decide, one, how many reviews there were, of which I'm guessing there's like 300.
Oh, fucking hell, dude.
Well, though.
660.
Wowzers, man. People feel strongly about this film.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting, how many 10-star and 1-star reviews. I will be, because we've had a couple of surprises this week where we like films we like, and they have a surprisingly high number of 1-star reviews. I think a fair few people will love this film. I think they're getting carried away. Out of 600, I reckon 42 10-star.
109.
Yeah, I would see. As I was talking, my own kind of mouth, I was like, I just had that conversation then about how when she.
Yeah.
No,
6 people think this is a 10-star.
Yeah, no, I get it. Right. If you're approaching this critically, it's never a 10-star film. But I bet you some people they like Die Hard. They don't come in with great expectations, and they're just like, it's fun. They're not like, you know what I mean? They're not kind of like, oh, the acting isn't great, and it's all the Leguizamo stuff.
Die Hard, so this is a 10-star.
I'm not actually. I agree with you. But I can see why some people just love this as a silly Christmas film.
I picked these at random,
Mhm.
and I picked this just because of the title. This deserves a slow clap.
Okay.
Jolly Old Saint Wick.
No, that's quite good.
Yeah. This was instantly my favorite Christmas movie, like ever. I was solidly into the story from the beginning, even before the mercenary Santa Claus begins his retaliation. We were given just enough backstory on Santa to make him interesting, but not too much to invest and care about the story and characters. I was given John Wick vibes throughout, and I shouldn't be surprised that the same producers were involved in this movie. I love the blend of family stories, sometimes comically, evil bad guys and assassin violence, all with a Christmas twist. Not to mention a really intriguing and then hilarious introduction to Santa. Most of the characters seemed relatively fleshed out, though superficial. The main kid was classic, nice list, and well acted. We were given some good twists and some insane over-the-top references to Home Alone. Honestly, this has to be my new favourite Christmas movie. David Harbour is great Santa. I don't know if I'd like a follow-up because I loved it, or not to avoid ruining something pretty great.
I mean, that's the thing. I don't necessarily disagree with anything he said there, except for it's the best Christmas movie of all time, because it does have
I mean, that is a stretch.
It is a stretch.
Yeah.
I can see, but like you said, I can see why anybody watching this would be like largely positive about it. I think 10 stars are best.
I think the thing what he said was because it's a Christmas movie. If you're into action films and that's what you like,
Yeah.
well, this is the best Christmas version of it.
Yeah.
And it really, well, no, it's not.
You know, if you love Die Hard and Home Alone, you're like, it's like those.
But the thing is, the argument being Die Hard, is it or is it not a Christmas movie? You're literally going to say it's a Christmas movie.
Weapon.
Yeah, because Santa is the...
This is the Christmas
Yeah.
movie.
There is no, actually, yeah, it's
Yeah.
100%.
There is no ambiguity, is there?
No.
I mean, the films we love as Christmas movies aren't
Well,
necessarily.
we've already talked about this numerous times. They're not Christmas movies, they're movies set at Christmas, which is, it fits in the middle, you know?
You've mentioned Lethal Weapon, obviously. I'm very upset that for some reason we haven't watched Lethal Weapon 2 on this podcast.
Yeah, it seems weird, right?
Yeah, we're nearly
Just
300
so
episodes.
it's
It's by far my
stuff.
favourite. Diplomatic
Do
immunity.
So going off on a tangent.
Very much because they're not in the podcast. Diplomatic immunity.
I'm not going
That isn't even the best quote.
No,
I mean,
no, no.
It's not a very extinct. You are black.
You have that.
I mean, you are
Yeah.
black.
Going off on a tangent.
See, I can't start with diplomatic immunity. I'm going to start with prawn. I'm going to start with get into the accent.
Yeah.
That's taking the right tone. You're fucking black. Yeah, but that's what
Yeah,
you
get into the accent.
The accent,
Yeah.
and then I can get to diplomatic immunity. I just start shouting out diplomatic immunity. I'm just saying diplomatic immunity.
Going off onto it, well, I'm trying to go off
This is
onto a
why we haven't done
tangent.
Little Weapons yet, just to be clear, yes.
Dave and I, our families went on holiday in the summer to Spain, and for some reason, Dave and I, when everyone went to bed, we just sat down and watched the Lethal Weapons.
Yeah. So the TV had
I actually
certain,
think they were in order of quality.
they had
Yeah.
certain channels, and they had the Lethal Weapon channel. So they played 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row, and then it started again. So through the week, we'd come in and we'd be like, "Oh, let's see what's on the Lethal Weapon channel." And we watched pretty much all of them.
all of them.
Just in bits.
I do genuinely think, and I know a lot of people refer 2 to 1. Actually, my favorite is the first. I think quality-wise, they go 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you go back and watch them, like, there's not a bad film amongst them. I actually even like 4. It's not great, but it's watchable.
I mean,
Chris Rock's a bit annoying. Well, like, Chris Rock's just doing his stand-up. That's it.
but comparatively, you are right.
Yeah.
4 is the worst film of the 4.
Yeah.
But it's still an okay film.
It's
Yeah.
three-star film.
Yeah.
It's a total
Yeah.
three-star film. I mean, one argument 3 is maybe a 3-star film. I
Yeah.
just prefer 3.
I like 3.
No,
I like
The whole cop killer
Yeah.
thing, I like that. It's good. 1 and 2 are a bit interchangeable. I don't think you could say one is necessarily
Well, no,
much better than the other.
Yeah. No, I've always preferred 1, but if someone was like, I prefer 2, I'm not going to try and do
Yeah,
it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I've always
Like you said, I would 1 and 2, or almost. I borderline 3 and 4 are interchangeable for me.
That's a good. Yeah.
No. It is clearer, but like I think there's 1 and 2 are like really really good action films. Then 3's decent, 4's decent, but yeah, it's totally ridiculous. But
I don't know when it's mentioned Lethal Weapon, but star reviews for Violent Night?
yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Right, so, I mean, sorry, 10 star reviews were
It
there?
was 109.
God,
Yeah.
that's a lot. I reckon it's like 20.
38.
Oh, Jesus,
Yeah.
that's higher
Yeah.
again. People
Yeah.
feel much more. See, all of our talk was about how kind of like this fits into a box between 3 and 4 stars. Some people
Yeah.
clearly disagree.
So this was titled Made for Kids with Too Much Violence. It's all about magic, supposedly. Made for kids, but there's way too much violence in it. Therefore, they can't watch it. So it's too boring for adults to watch and too violence for kids, basically, which is R-rated to watch, means not suitable for anyone. Don't know why. Don't know why would anyone came out with such an idea and think it would actually be a good movie.
It's
Fucking-
terrible
it's
that I have to
killing
doing
me.
this every week. Rob reads these verbatim. This is exactly what it says on screen, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
reading what people wrote, and this is why he sounds like he's having a stroke.
Do you smell toast? And don't let me even start with the music, man. I mean, how?
Yes.
There we go.
Yes, well done.
Don't let me even start with the music, man. I mean, how chose that music?
Chose that music.
Did you chose that music?
Yeah.
And the script and the conversations, man, they are way too unrealistic. Not even close to in real life conversations. Just don't waste your time and money for this movie.
Why is it always one-star reviews are written by lunatics? And no, just be clear again. We're not hand-picking psychos.
No.
You randomly pick one.
grab 'em.
There were like loads of them. There were 40. You randomly pick one, and they're always written by psychos.
Yeah, I bet this guy's fun at parties, isn't he?
Oh, you know, it's loads of fun. But
Don't chose music on screen. Choose music. Don't choose music.
don't choose music. That leads us eventually to our score and recommendations. For me, this is a 3 and a guess. However, I would like to stress it is definitely a 4-star movie when Harbour's on screen. So it is 3.5.
It is,
It is totally 3.5. And if anything, I'm probably closer to a 4. But yeah, 3.5 feels right because it really is. Every time he's on screen, even in Bristol, I'm like, this is exactly the kind of film I want it to be. It does take a dip for those sections, you know, even down towards like 2.5. But as a whole, yeah, I'm comfortable giving this a 3.5, but a very kind of strong recommendation as well.
I love how nearly 300 films in, I am slowly beating you down to the half stars.
I've been chipped away.
It's a 3.5 star.
You keep me in the video game section, so I don't want to get into an argument against something. It's like, yeah, fucking 3.5 stars. I just
It is. It's a 3.5 star film for basically what you said. But I would
it might
recommend
be
it.
the most 3.5 stars
Yeah.
we've covered.
I would recommend it. If you want to see a different take on, I guess, Santa, definitely.
It's a really fun watch. Like,
Yeah.
you can pick holes in it, and it's far from perfect, but it is one of the most like enjoyable modern Christmas movies I've watched. Like, I can't think of too many, you know, because we've talked about this before. Like, you know, with Christmas movies, quality is involved, but nostalgia plays a big part. There aren't too many modern Christmas films which have forced their way. Obviously, we covered Rare Exports last week,
Yeah.
which is a relatively modern film, which is kind of forced its way in. Rare Exports is a better movie than this year.
Yeah.
If you ask me which of these films do I want to watch again next year, I might pick this one, despite the fact that I know objectively it's not good.
Because
It's fun.
it's more fun to watch.
And you can like drop into this at any moment because you know it, like, it's just
Yeah.
so it's fine. So it's like, you know, the kind of awesome film you can have on the background, you kind of half paying attention. Yeah, it's not as good as Rare Exports, but I guarantee I'll watch this one
Yeah.
more. So yeah, 3.5 and yes.
Dave, 2-star because of the music.
No, I mean, we've discussed this in the past. We've watched
1 star, choose music. Yeah,
Fucking music is
shit.
What's the cool of it? No. We've talked about it in the past, and I think the last time I watched this, I must have been in a fucking bad mood because I really didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot more this time, so I came into this expecting this to be a 2-star movie. I'm not going 3.5 star.
Okay.
I'm going 3-star.
Yeah,
I think this is sort of middle of the road, sort of. But it's like you said, it is fun to watch, and it's not a bad film to There's bits of it I didn't like, but yeah, that is a 3-star for me.
Yeah, makes sense. Recommend?
No.
No.
Certain people maybe. Like I 100% know. If my barometer is is a shit barometer. Is normally would my wife want to watch it?
Okay.
No.
No. no.
Now, certain people would, you know, if you enjoy a bit of action, a bit of a laugh, then fine, but not for most people. So I'm probably going to say no.
If you're wondering why I've been surprisingly quiet for the first time ever, it's because I suddenly realised I hadn't written down what I'm next.
Do you know, I was about to say, did you forget what you're picking next week?
I did,
Yeah.
I just didn't put it down. So I've got a whole bunch of choices, but I've settled on one now.
Okay.
So for next week, so just be clear, that is the end of our Christmas season podcast. I think we're going to try and release this one a little bit early, which is redundantly saying this because whenever you're listening to it,
Well, this is, I mean, yeah, you listen to whenever, but for us, it's coming out the day before Christmas Eve.
yeah, okay, fair. So we'll get it as soon as we can. So yeah, that's the end of our Hugmas season of alternative Christmas movie podcast. So we're back to relatively normal fare next week.
Yeah.
And I think this is a classic Hey You Guys podcast kind of movie, but one obviously we've never done before. And I think the reason we haven't done this is because it was really hard to find. It has, however, magically shown up on YouTube, as some of these movies do. So if you watch the whole movie on YouTube is pretty high quality from what I could check. The year is 1990. James not going to get this, by the way. The director is, I have no idea who the fucking director is, which speaks to the film. Just a second, guys. Stick with me. Rick King.
Rick King. Oh, fucking Rick King. Who the fuck is Rick King?
He is known for Point Break, sadly the 2015 version.
Oh, okay.
But he was involved in Point Break in 1991.
Was like a producer or a writer.
A writer of Point Break, and he was a producer of Point Break in 1991. And I'm not sure if that speaks to the quality of this film, because it's got like decent enough, when I say decent enough reviews, it's 5.5 out of 10 on IMDb.
Do you want to give me an actor?
It's very, very 1990, and there's nothing more 1990 than Corey fucking Hinton. Oh, and I'm guessing you're going to figure this out by that. You might do it.
Corey Hinton, 1990.
Wait, dismaying me.
You're not going to get this.
This isn't like this.
1990 Corey Hinton. Go.
No.
No, it's not. License to Drive was the 80s.
Yeah, I know that.
License.
Even if I told you what was on their feet, I don't think
You could probably tell me the film. I would know that.
Give me the feet.
What might they be wearing on their feet?
Oh my god!
Yeah, there we go.
God, Roller Boys!
Prayer of the Roller Boys. Right, this is a film I have not watched since.
Excitement.
I'm glad. I thought you might share the excitement. We talked about this in like literally early days on the podcast.
You don't know what this is.
But we do try and at least, don't get me wrong, we have covered some obscure stuff, but for the most part, we try and cover things that people can potentially watch. Praying for the Roller Boys, which you couldn't find anyway.
So
it's impossible. But it's just the whole film is on YouTube.
I was going to say, it's on YouTube, so you'll be fine.
The whole film.
I'll just go and get my DVD copy of Roller Boys, and I will watch Roller Boys.
Yeah, this is a very, like we've said before, in terms of like, when you think of the 80s really are like, and I know this isn't a but really, what we think culturally, cinematically, it's like 83 to like 87, 88.
Yeah.
Then from like 88 to like 93 is the early 90s. This is so quintessentially early 90s. It's ridiculous with coats, the look, everything like that. So, is this any good? I have no idea. I liked it in 1992, the last time I watched it.
I will answer that for you. Yes.
You're confident?
No, I'm not.
You have to lend me the DVD of this.
I'll have to try and find it for you. Yeah. I mean, just watch it on YouTube. You don't.
Oh, yeah.
It's full on. Oh, what was the kid's name? What was the brother's name?
Oh God! Well, I'm seriously.
Oh, we're going down a rabbit hole now.
Yeah.
So it's Griffin, Casey, Gary Lee.
Jerry Lee, wasn't it?
It's called
Gary Lee was Griffin. What was the brother's name? Gary Lee was the leader of the. Gary Lee was the leader of them. The guy that took him in was Speedbagger. Milty was the brother. And all I can think of, Day of the Rope is coming. Day of the Rope.
See, it's one of those things I can't remember anything about it other than it was an important part of my life for about a year, and then it just disappeared again. So I think this is going to be a fun one, especially those with fond memories. And despite its somewhat questionable quality, I think a lot of people are going to have genuinely fond memories.
Because Sherlock Cat was in this film.
Yeah, not every film's great. That's but yeah, so next week, 1990s, Prayer of the Roller Boys for a real shift in tone there.
Yeah.
Anything else before we wrap this up then?
Just one thing. I've got to thank one of our listeners, a bit of a legend. Yeah. Stephen Dunn. I am full naming you. I am full naming you, yeah. I had a Christmas card come from the post from Stephen, thanking us for another year of entertainment, thanking us for not charging him through Patreon, which you're welcome. So he's just
no adverts either.
No adverts either, I will admit, yeah, but we just go off on tangent, so it's adverts for different films. He gave us some coffee shop vouchers to get a coffee and a cake on him. So thank you, mate. Yeah,
an absolute sweetheart.
But as the one who doesn't get anything from it, if you do turn up outside Rob's house, he will beat the shit out of you.
yeah. Send things through the post, but do not fucking turn up at my house.
I mean, I'm sure that makes sense between you two. You sound fucking insane. Okay, I've been Liam, he's been Rob, that's been Dave, and you have been listening to the Hey Guys podcast. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Bye now.
Oh, and before I forget, where can folk reach us if they were so inclined to?
Well, you can actually reach us on Hey You Guys 80s at Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. But if you want to send us a mail, do heyyouguys80s@gmail.com. Send us in your recommendations. Send us in your thoughts about any of the episodes. Just literally talk to us. We'll have a one-sided talk with you on the podcast.
Yeah. We're nice folk. Get in touch. But no, cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys. Bye now.